Podcast. I'm your host, Deontay, and today this is just gonna be a little welcoming in. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I started this podcast. I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna get into it. All right. So I am 22 years old. I was born in Michigan and raised in Tennessee. I started this podcast because I love helping others. I love giving encouragement to others, and I love to joke around. So to have fun, this podcast I started is going to be a safe space. So if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for the podcast, or even any topics you want to speak on, any questions for the guests we have on the podcast, feel free to email us at realwavepodcast0@gmail.com. I will put that right there on the screen. You can also find us on the Clubhouse app, Facebook, and Instagram. But without further ado, I'm going to get into our quote for the show today. Our quote for the show today is going to be, "You can't control everything. Sometimes you need to just relax and have faith that things will work out." With that being said, I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit. We tend to try and do everything at once, or try to make the impossible possible. Yes, the impossible can be possible, but will it be possible if you don't have the tools? So with us not having the tools, we end up having to be patient to wait for the tools, but we get stressed in the midst thereof. So if we're getting stressed in the midst thereof, there's nothing that's going to happen, because as you're stressed, you're stuck in a bind. You're stuck in a certain spot where you can't move on. But once you stop stressing, you'll be able to move forward, because those tools become visible to you. Like when I was trying to start this podcast, I was looking at the things that I didn't have. When you look at the things that you don't have, you won't be going forward. You'll be going backwards or at a standstill. You don't want to be at a standstill or moving backwards, but if you keep moving forward, you'll be successful. I also want to share with you guys that this Friday we're going to have another podcast show with Rafisha Black on the Clubhouse app live. So if you have any questions for her, be sure to be there. It's going to be at noon. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be jokes. It's going to be laughing. We're also going to be giving our quote for the show. You're going to want to hear that one as well. Can't share it with you right now, but you will hear it when you be there. We're also going to be posting it onto our YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe so you can get notifications when we post. You're not going to want to miss this one. You guys have a wonderful evening. And thank you again for joining Real Wave Podcast. I'm your host, Deontay. Hope you had a great time here today. Have a wonderful evening.